Hello BookTube, this is my February book haul. At January's book haul I had 954 books, and at the end of this video I'll tell you how many books I have now and how many more books away from 1,000 I will be. Now, I planned on doing this video during my usual filming period on Monday afternoon, the last day of the month. However, I realized I have an appointment Monday afternoon. My brother, who's taking me to this appointment himself, has an appointment earlier Monday afternoon. And while I could theoretically have enough time to film a video during my usual filming period at 12:30 Central Time, this is a book haul, and those usually take a while because I have to log the books in the show notes as well as into my catalog and then put them up. And that can usually take an extra 30-40 minutes beyond just filming the book haul. So these are usually, my book hauls are usually the longest videos I have to work on. And I mean I love them anyway, so yeah, but anyway, let's get going on the books because I've got quite a bit. Once again, I've gone insane. Anyway, BookTube, let's get going. So the first 6 books are all Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle by Clamp. The first 3 and the first 2 books I picked up this month are Tsubasa Volume 17, Tsubasa Volume 18, and Tsubasa Volume 19. Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle is Clamp's big crossover epic fantasy manga. It features variations of classic camp characters from previous series appearing in new roles. The story is about Sioran, a young archaeologist who is in love with Princess Sakura, and one day while he's at a dig with her, an ancient artifact activates, grievously wounding Sakura. To save Sakura, Sioran goes to Earth to speak with or seek help from the space-time witch Yukio, who appears in Clamp series Exholic. She tells him that he has to find soul feathers, bits of memory that has been shattered from Sakura. Joining him in his quest are Kuragane, a samurai, and Feidi Flowerite, a sorcerer, and also Makona, a entity that can traverse realities. And so they go on a quest to collect Sakura's soul feathers. I picked these 3 volumes up from 2 different Goodwills, one in Minnesota and one in Oregon. I also picked up from the Goodwill in Minnesota later in the month Volume 20, Volume 23, and Volume 24. So at the end of January I had 12 volumes of Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle left. As of February, that is now down to 6. I have 6 left: 21, 22, 25, 26, 27, and 28. I've already ordered volume 21 because that one's not that terribly expensive. Although these last 6 are going to be a pain in my booty to find because very few people seem to have copies available, or from where I shop at, and those that do, particularly if they're like a Libris and have like independent sellers through them, some of these books are insanely expensive. Anyway. But I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that this edition of Tsubasa are, I think, out of print, and I think the only one is the omnibus editions, which I don't particularly want. But anyway, let's get going. So, I also made an order with a Book Depository at the end of January. In about mid-month, Book Depository has a sort of 20% off sale of select books, and I checked this selection out, and there were 2 books that I wanted. There were a few more, quite a bit of manga, but I'm not entirely sure if the British editions or anything like the American editions, and I would prefer the American from like Viz and Yen and other American presses. So anyway, but I did pick up 2 books. Cloudstreet by Tim Winton. This is an Australian novel that made the rounds of BookTube a few years ago, and I thought it sounded interesting and wanted to pick it up for a while, and finally did. And also picked up The Temple of the Golden Pavilion by Yukio Mishima. Yukio Mishima was one of the 20th century's most important Japanese authors. I have one collection of short stories by him, and I've wanted more of his work forever. And I'm quite happy to finally pick up something. And particularly Temple of the Golden Pavilion, I've wanted it for a while. I also made an order with Midtown Scholar, one of my favorite booksellers that I shop with through Libras. I picked up 4 books from them. Fullmetal Alchemist Volume 6 by Hiromu Arakawa. Fullmetal Alchemist is a shonen manga about the Ulrich brothers, Edward and Alphonse. They are young alchemists who attempt to bring their mother back from the dead. This forbidden alchemical operation results in both brothers being grievously wounded. Edward loses a leg, Alphonse loses his body. To save Alphonse, Edward sacrifices his arm to inscribe Alphonse's soul onto a suit of armor. Edward joins the state military and as a state alchemist and becomes the Fullmetal Alchemist. The brothers then go on a journey to find the Philosopher's Stone, an alchemical artifact reputed to be able to bypass the law of equivalent exchange and would be able to give the brothers, restore their brothers to heal them. As the brothers search for the Philosopher's Stone, they come upon an ancient conspiracy at the very roots of their home country's history and government. Fullmetal Alchemist is one of my favorite mangas, and I have been looking forward to recollecting the series. I have never actually had the entire series. I had a few volumes up. I've read it before, and I really want to get the rest of it. I also picked up from Midtown Scholar 3 books in the Reaction Animal series. Owl by Desmond Morris. I've finally gotten away from just insects and cephalopods, although Octopus by Richard Schweid adds to the cephalopod collection. Even though I think those are the only 2 cephalopods the Reaction has, is Squid and Octopus. And Spider by Katarzyna and Sergiusz Michalski. And I'm butchering their name, which adds to my arachnid collection, because I have Scorpion. I also had a pre-order this month in the Lone Fantasy, Moon Witch Spider King by Marlon James. This is a sequel to Black Leopard Red Wolf, and this is Marlon James's big experimental epic fantasy inspired by African history and mythology, and is about a group of broken people who were brought together to find a missing boy and eventually to seek revenge, or to prevent said revenge from being happening. This book is, I'm assuming, going to be told from the perspective of the one of the witch character from the first book, because I want to say each book in the series is going to be from a different, like the same story just told from a different perspective, with different histories being added in, as obviously not all of the characters were together throughout the entirety of the books. So anyway, quite looking forward to reading Moonlit Spider King. I rather enjoyed Black Leopard Red Wolf, and I will be revisiting that before reading Moonlit Spider King. Next, I had an order with Powell's City of Books. Powell's is the storied independent bookstore in Portland, Oregon. They had a 20% off used book sale, and I jumped on it. I picked up 4 volumes of manga and 4 other books. I picked up 2 volumes of Fullmetal Alchemist, Volume 9, and Volume 21. And also picked up 2 volumes of The 7 Deadly Sins by Nakaba Suzuki. This is Volume 3. And this is Volume 4. The 7 Deadly Sins is a shonen manga series in which a princess seeks out the 7 Deadly Sins after the Holy Knights launched a coup d'etat to overthrow her father, the king. The 7 Deadly Sins are an errant order of knighthood who were disbanded and attacked about a decade before the series began on charges of treason, and the Princess Elizabeth believes that, well, if the Holy Knights are actually totalitarian and tyrannical, then whatever they said about the 7 Deadly Sins gotta be a lie. And so she finds one of them, Melodias, and together they begin to find the other 6 members. I rather recently discovered this series and quite enjoyed it, and looking forward to adding it to my growing manga collection. Outside of the manga, I also picked up a number of books that I've had previously and I've regretted getting rid of, and so I'm taking the opportunity to re-add them to my collection. First amongst them is Omeros by Derek Walcott. This is an epic, or modern epic poem that situates the stories, Homeric stories of Troy to the Caribbean. It is an amazing poem. I love this, and I've wanted it back for years, and I'm quite happy to finally have it back. I also picked up Mama Day by Gloria Naylor. If you also watch Doris of All Do Books' channel, you'll know she has been reading Mama Day recently, and this is a fantastic novel. It's about an island community off the coast of, I think, the Carolinas. It could be Georgia. And of a young woman who returns home after being away for work and life, and just kind of reacclimate to this magical community and the dangers. It's a wonderful novel. It's been forever since I've read it, and I'm quite looking forward to rereading it. Other books I've had and wanted back, Maybe the Moon by Armistead Maupin. This is not one of his Tales of the City novels. This is a standalone about a little person actress who was the... basically, she starred in a movie very similar to E.T. She would have played the character of E.T. And so this is sort of her years later, whose careers largely evaporated, and trying to kind of restart her career and kind of running through life and kind of reconnecting with her former co-star and stuff. It's really fantastic novel. It's been too long since I've read it. And finally, from Powell's, I picked up The Hours by Michael Cunningham. This is one of Michael Cunningham's most famous novels, probably his best novel. It did win the Pulitzer Prize. It's basically a riff on Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, and is broken up into 3 time periods. One which sort of matches, or 2 that matches sort of the storyline of Mrs. Dalloway. Also one that follows the last hours in the life of Virginia Woolf. It's a fantastic novel that I read years ago and really enjoyed and wanted it back along with the rest of Michael Cunningham's oeuvre, and so I picked this up, although I'm rather disappointed because I wanted the original trade paperback cover, not the movie tie-in cover, because the original is wonderful, this not so much. And finally, the last 5 books of this book haul I got from Book People. So I had $100 left in Christmas money, and I was originally going to split that between Book People and Pals, but then Pals had the 20% off used book sale, and I'm like, just went ahead and did it. So I basically used $100 and bought $100 in gift card from Book People. So I bought 5 books with that and a little run over. First is An Inventory of Losses by Judith Schalansky. This is, I don't really know much about it, but I read the, oh, I did get and I thought they didn't send me a receipt. I'm not entirely sure what this is about. But I read the first chapters, or not like a dipped in and quite liked what I read, so wanted it and looking forward to reading it. Next is The Recent East by Thomas Grattan. This is a new release that came out about in January. It's about a family of German expatriates who returned to Germany after reunification. And again, I've dipped into it and quite liked what I read. Next is The 5 Wounds by Kirstin Valdez Quade. This is a novelized version of her short story, The 5 Wounds, that was in her short story collection, Night at the Fiestas. It's about a 30-something ne'er-do-well who believes that by participating in a crucifixion society, he can sort of redeem himself in the eyes of himself, his family, his community. While he's preparing to be crucified, he learns that his daughter is pregnant and is not having much, her relationship with her mother's deteriorating. And I think this novel sort of expands on the family drama. But anyway, quite looking forward to it. I've wanted it since I first heard about it. Next is Love in the Big City by Sang-Young Park. This is a Korean novel about a young gay man's life in Seoul that, again, I dipped into and quite enjoyed what I read, so looking forward to it. And finally, 11 Inch by Michal Witowski. This is a Polish novel about 2 male hustlers who service male clients in the years after the Cold War ended. And it's basically a journey through various Eastern European countries. This came out late last year from Siegel. distributed in the U.S. by the University of Chicago Press, and I've wanted this book ever since I saw it. It's kind of strikes my fancy. I've dipped into it and I really like what I've read. I was originally going to buy it from the University of Chicago Press, but when I got around to finally doing a fiction haul order with them, this was out of kind of like back order. Like they ran out of copies. So I ended up going with Book People, even though that kind of meant I had to pay full price and not get a 20% discount. But anyway, I'm quite looking forward to this too. So, yeah, so that was 26 books hauled in February, which means that I am now at 980 books. So I'm 20 away from 1,000 books in my collection. I will comfortably meet that in March. I guarantee it. I've already started some orders for March. And right now I'm about a little more than halfway to, so I think about 900, like 10 books, so be about 990, so I'll have about, I'll get 1,000 this month, or next month, obviously still in February. So that means I will be doing something special once I reach 1,000 books. I released a video a few weeks ago talking about some ideas I had. I'm still wanting to do a Q&A video, but I haven't really gotten the comment response on the what should I do video, so I'm not entirely sure if I did put out a call for Q&A, I would get much response. So I may just do the tag, like the random Q&A tag instead. Or I might do both and just hope I get enough to do the Q&A, but if not, then I'll do the tag. But anyway, so let's do a pyramid or two. So this is the manga. I really should have put more thought into how I place these books. And this is everybody else. So now I'm going to go ahead and prepare to upload the video and log in these books for my into my catalog and then put them up, and then see if I need to start looking into buying a new bookcase, which I will either sometime this week or probably towards the end of the new booktube. I will see you tomorrow with although I think I'll probably put this up after I would have, I guess I could go ahead and put it up now, I don't know. Well, I'll see you sometime tomorrow and then throughout the rest of the week in booktube. Thank you. Have a great evening, since I'm doing it Sunday evening, but also afternoon and rest of your week. And I'll see you next time. And until then, stay safe.